Yeah, why don't we sit down and think about it.
But you know what?
Bob, you ready? Good evening and welcome to the Morrisville Borough Council of Monday, December 21st, 2015. Please stand for a moment of silent prayer, followed by pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will everyone turn their mics on, please? May we have a roll call?
David Bell.
Here.
Nancy Sherlock.
Here.
Fred Kerner.
Here.
Victor Cicero.
Here.
Jeffrey Johnson.
Here.
Ken Chronicle.
Here.
Ed Parker.
Here.
John Sanford.
Here.
Debbie Scott.
Here.
Kenny.
Here.
And Mr. Subi. We have actually two special presentations this evening. First, we have Mr. Chris Kapp, who's the Executive Director of Pennsylvania State Boroughs Association, who just flew in, huh?
I just flew in. Madam President, thank you very much. I came in unannounced. I've been with PSA 15 years.
Is that, see if that mic's on? I don't think that was on. On the side, I think it's on the handle itself.
Pull it out of the hole. Help is on the way.
Help somewhat.
Obviously.
Could be.
Clicker?
Yes,
Good, you're on.
That's it.
Madam President, I've been with PSA for 15 years. I've been Executive Director for 4 years. And there's some special people that we've worked with over the years. And I came in unannounced. I had a council member that invited me up here to do a presentation for Miss Nancy Sherlock. Nancy, sorry not to come in announced, but you've been a tremendous asset to PSAB. You volunteered so much of your time to PSAB, and I understand this is your last meeting on this council. There are a number of council members around the state that we go out and do these public thank yous, if you will. Nancy Sherlock's been in our trustees. Nancy, actually, I met you 15 years ago when I was a legislative analyst for PSAB, and she was on our Resolutions and Policy Steering Committee. And since then, she's served on so many of our committees and made some significant contributions and made some very good relationships with a lot of our members from around the Commonwealth. PSAB, of course, was established back in 1911. Mr. Thomas Crosswaite created us, and it was a method to aggregate the strength of municipal government officials from around the Commonwealth. More than 100 years later, Nancy's just been a significant contributor. So I did want to present this Service Appreciation Award to Nancy Sherlock, and I'll read it out loud for the record. Okay? Service Appreciation Award presented to Nancy Sherlock in recognition of your many years of exceptional service to PSAB on numerous standing committees, embodying our values of integrity, commitment, service, and exemplifying steadfast loyalty. We will be forever grateful. With much respect and appreciation for your friends and colleagues of the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs, dated December 21st, 2015, signed by myself, Executive Director. Oh, thank you. Signed by myself, Executive Director, and our President, Jack Lauber, who was elected. He is from Fayette County, and it is signed right here. So, Madam President,
Thank you so much.
with no further ado, can I present? Can I approach?
Not yet.
Thank you, Mr. Kapp. It's very appreciative. I've always enjoyed my time there, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you. We also have another very special person coming this evening, and that's our House of Representatives, Steve Sanastero.
Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate the time tonight. It's ironic, I just came from Lower Medfield where they swore in a new supervisor to take the place of someone who just resigned. And ironic because that was the beginning of someone's tenure. And here tonight's the mark of the end. But certainly not the end of community involvement, and certainly not the end of service. There are actually two. We will, of course, tonight. We are marking the final meeting here on the council, Jeff and Nancy. And I know you both well. And it's been a real pleasure of mine to work with you both in my capacity as a member of the Pennsylvania State House representing Morrisville, but also as someone in the community. In my previous role as a supervisor, and just someone who's been active in our community. So it really is an honor for me to be here tonight to thank you for your service. So first, I'd like to start with you, Jeff.
I think we're getting another new microphone, or we're just taking turns with.
So everything I just said was completely lost. We could do the Cliff Notes version. What do you think? I think it was working.
Well, I think it'll be recorded.
Yeah, that's all right. It's fine. At least those of us in the room hopefully heard. And what I wanted to begin with in thanking Jeff for his service to Morrisville. And Jeff, I have with me a letter that I bear, and thanking you for everything you've done for Morrisville Borough, as well as a flag of our Commonwealth that I'd like to present to you now. Nancy, because you have served in Morrisville for 24 years, under the rules of our house, as an elected official, now retiring, you have you have earned a citation from the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, which I think you have to be serving for 20 years or more in the rules to get that. And so I have it with me here tonight. I won't read the entire citation. It recites your time here in Morrisville and the different boards and commissions you have helped serve. And it is signed by me as well as the Speaker of the House and the Clerk of the House. And it really is an honor for me to be here to present this to you. As I was saying before, I've known you for a long time. Back when I started the League of Municipalities in this area of the county, you were involved with that. And you and Jeff both have done a tremendous amount of work for the people of this borough. And I know that you will always be in the hearts of many people here in Morrisville for everything you've contributed to make this a better place in which to live. And so it is really an honor of mine to be able to present this to you this evening along with the flag of our Commonwealth.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to serve.
Yes, we do.
And if I could just say, in conclusion tonight, that I always point this out when I hand out a citation. There's a picture inside the jacket of the House chamber. And if you have been to the Capitol in Harrisburg, you know what a beautiful building it is. It's a very ornate, pretty building. Sometimes the actions in the House don't always reflect the beauty of the chamber itself. But what I would say to both Nancy and Jeff and your families, if you get an opportunity to come out, I would be happy to take you on a tour of the House, bring you onto the House floor, and I'm sure I can speak for my counterpart in the Senate, Senator McElhenney, that he'd be pleased to do the same thing. So please let my office know if we can put that together sometime in the new year. We'd be happy to take you on a tour. And yes, hopefully we will get a budget passed in the next few days. But I want to thank you again for your service. I want to thank the rest of the board for all of your service, and Mayor Ravella as well. And let's hope for good things in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here this evening. Next, we will move on to the hearing of the public. We have Mr. Kurt Hendricks.
Good evening. There's a couple things to go over. First one, I want to thank everyone in Morrisville who donated to the family that lost their home a couple weeks ago through the fire. Danielle Larison and my wife Jennifer Holt-Hendricks worked tirelessly organizing donations. A business owner in town donated a storage unit to keep everything so we can bring things in, go through it, sort it, get it to the families, furniture, diapers, toys, clothing for the whole family, and the town came together wonderfully to take care of his family right before the Christmas holiday, and I just want to thank the whole borough for coming together and taking care of that situation. Second thing, I want to thank people in town taking care of the tree, watering it. That's down at Robert Morris Square. A couple ribbons came off in a windstorm they had kicked up. A couple ribbons came off. Residents found them, put them back on, taking care of the tree. I want to thank everybody who's been out doing that for us. Couple things. A few months ago, we were told we were getting the Welcome to Morrisville sign given back to us to get reinstalled somewhere. I'm wondering, where is this sign still? Does it exist, and are we getting it back?
It's my understanding that it's at the garage.
Okay.
I don't know who it belongs to, so I'm not, I think we have to find out the owner first to give it to you.
We found that out already, didn't we?
I don't know who owns it.
Okay, but we had that figured out. There is a motion to approve a resolution to appoint a borough auditor. Was there ever anything put out to bid, advertised, multiple firms looked at and voted upon and discussed? Or are you just picking someone and putting them in there?
It's a service, we're allowed to just
You can just
appoint somebody,
appoint
yes.
somebody, okay. Figured that would be checked out by at least a few people and have a couple businesses looked at for that. The Borough manager, I was hoping you'd be here tonight to answer a couple of questions as a potential employee here, but it's the council's duty to hire and appoint people to work for the benefit of the entire borough, not just give jobs over for political friendships or deals. And not saying Mr. Subi may or may not be a good guy, but has he worked full-time in 20 years since he went out on disability? Has he been on disability still? What's his qualifications to run a borough? Just knowing somebody doesn't make you qualified to prepare the budget, as we've dealt with for 5 years. Write grants, manage the workforce, and I really don't think that try to get him appointed and hired before you leave is the appropriate way to go about doing things. And just from talking to some other people throughout the county and other local offices and governments, even they're looking at it kind of funny as why it happened. And they're not saying good things about it, just to let you know. So we should reconsider that, because we're being looked at kind of as a joke right now. That's it. Merry Christmas, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Bill Mender.
Bill Minder, 423 Crown Street. Talking about leaf collection. I think it went very well on the whole, except for the last week. I am on the Thursday collection, and the last Thursday this year comes on Thanksgiving, and usually when the holiday comes on a collection day, they collect the next day. Well, Thursday night I put all my leaves out, as all my neighbors did, and Friday, no collection of leaves, but they did collect the trash and recycle. And I understand now that the borough was off Friday, so I can understand that. But then that should put me in #1 position for come Monday. And they didn't put us in #1 position for Monday. They didn't collect us till the following Thursday. So all the leaves in our street weren't collecting for a whole week. And everybody was sitting hoping that they would come around sometime and pick us up. But nobody ever told us they weren't going to be around to collect us. So there has to be something done for next year, because as far as I know, Thanksgiving's still going to be on a Thursday. And that's going to be my collection day unless we change it. So for next year, if somebody gets straightened out, so let us know what, because these leaves are sitting out in the middle of out in the curb and everything else for over a week.
All right, Mr. Mender, well, maybe Mr. Stewart can address that later.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And have a Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thank
Forget
you.
about holidays. Merry Christmas.
Right. Jane Berger?
Jane Berger, 90 West Maple Avenue, Morrisville, Pennsylvania. You will be voting on the budget tonight with a contingency. Looking forward into the future, there is a reason why budgets are done and given preliminary approval well before December as a starting date, particularly when we need to go for the additional millage from the county. It's not getting on their schedule because we're not the only local borough that has to ask for additional funds for their general fund, so we can do that. I do have some questions on the budget. I'll just read through the pages, makes it easier for you all. We'll be ending the general fund this year with a deficit of slightly over $51,000. How is that going to be reconciled, restored? I know there's some differences between cash balances and fund balances, but really from next year's budget, there's not a place that really kind of identifies how you're going to treat that. Manager salary, I know there's been a lot of discussion. What's the right salary? You have a salary schedule this evening. It really doesn't matter because it'll be the new council will be working out any employment agreement with the borough manager to decide what may be a correct salary, particularly if you're looking to continue an assistant manager for some period of time. And hoping a full-time manager will remove the need for that. We didn't have a need for an assistant until we were in a part-time situation, and he and Mrs. Vidula, a wonderful employee who's since retired. So we need to look at that. Also, when you look at the salary schedule, it used to be a resolution, I guess, or some kind of a TIF that made that a schedule instead of that, but that's intended not to do the salaries for every employee of the borough. It's only for the those that are not covered by collective bargaining agreements. So I'm not sure what the schedule in front of you includes, but it was really for your salaried non-union personnel and would address things and also provide information that they don't get comp time or overtime. So you might want to in the future go back 5 or 6 years when it was a resolution just to make sure the content's not changed. Under the general fund, there was discussion. Of course, we all know the shade tree component had only $6,000, but there is a street department in the general fund on the line above the shade tree where you could put the line items for tree maintenance and outside tree maintenance. You've moved into municipal building maintenance. It's still in the general fund. It doesn't change any balances, but it'd be nice to get it in the right place. The transfer to the capital reserve fund, there was discussion. This is a restricted fund only for heavy equipment and radios. And I heard discussion that was a general reserve fund. Really can't be used for anything else. And I know it's in the budget, but once again, I think that's something that is not imperative this year, and that certainly would reduce the taxes by $1 mil. The street lighting fund, I guess at some point, manager next year will explain in the street lighting fund why use the words, you have a dollar amount, then you have move to sinking fund, a dollar amount, move to sinking fund. You really don't move dollar amounts between those special funds, so maybe it's a wording thing, maybe it needs to be explained different, but it looks like they're putting money into one fund and then moving it, which is not permitted. The rec fund has a carry forward of a little over $13,000. I'm hoping that is what's left of the $1 mil that was earmarked for open space, and that is with the mill this year. We'll get to that. Gets added to that and doesn't get siphoned away under labor costs. Sinking fund. This is an administrative matter. It won't, one item won't affect it. The sinking fund, you have principal and interest on $1.4 million, the JCI loan. The loan is $1.25 million, it's not 1.4. That was the amount of the contract. So you might want to talk to your accountant as to how to make those lines zero and then add one, because you can't just delete things to make them correct. Again, you have a cost of $2,934 payable to JCI for the performance management. That is a contract cost to a vendor. I believe if it wasn't allowable last year, it's not allowable this year as a sinking fund expense. So those are some things that I found on the budget. This evening does mark the last meeting for 2 members of council. And as it said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, there is an appointed time for everything. A time to seek, a time to love, a time to keep, and a time to cast away. And there's been a lot of adaptations to that of what you give, what you take, what you do, what you don't do. Everything happens for a reason. To everything there is a season. It's also said when a door closes, a window opens. To Mr. Johnson, I want to thank you for your service. We've agreed and sometimes we have disagreed, but it has been respectful. You have always been a gentleman. You have been courteous, respectful, considerate, never condescending or spiteful or just courteous. Always professional, and I thank you for that, and perhaps will continue to be of joint service in other ways. To Mrs. Sherlock, 24 years is a long time. You certainly have done a lot, been on many boards, as was already mentioned too. As you leave council, take time to reflect. What now? There will be a change. There are some things you have been a part of that, because you're no longer on council, will not be opportunities for you. But there will be, and I'm sure, many other opportunities, whether it's somehow connected to government or whether it's in private service. I knew you were very active in the Research Against Ovarian Council and NAG and Good Friend and some other organizations. So I'm sure you will find something. You're a woman who likes to be busy. There are opportunities beyond the borough. Believe me, I can tell you there really is a life beyond Borough Council. Over the years, we have worked together, and we've had some pretty serious differences. What's in the past is past. All we can do is look forward. My wish for you is that you find peace, and you can only find that within yourself. So, thank you both for your service. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and to the incoming council and those of you that are staying, I look for you to have a very productive and cooperative and thoughtful year as you all work together on the benefit of the community. Thank you. Oh, and I forgot this, we have to mention the tree stump thing. 37,000, not 30,000, plus 20,000 for labor, comes up to $57,000 to get rid of 100 stumps, and yeah, there may be some more in the future. But 100 stumps at $57,000, and my math comes up to $570 a stump, not 300, 200, or 100. So I guess we need to do something for labor. Thank you.
Mr. Farrell?
Bill Farrell, 347 North Pennsylvania Avenue. First, I want to welcome the sheriff from Montgomery County. I think it's Sean, right? Not Duke or anything. Just keeping his name. One question on item 8D. It's an increase the general fund millage by 2.75 mils. Could you tell me, an average citizen, approximately how much that would be for 2.75 mils?
Yeah. Is this the only question you have, or?
No. I haven't changed.
1 mil increase would be probably for the average homeowner about $20 a year.
So you're talking about between
$50.
$50. That's all. As I said in the past, I have nothing against you people personally. Your politics are subjective to me. That's my problem. Personally, I don't have any ill feelings towards you. I've been up here, I've been talking to a number of people. You have your opinion, I have my opinion. Sometimes a little outspoken, but I am who I am, and at my age, I'm not about to change. So, when you appointed the new borough manager, I was here. Not a member of the council. I consider myself a judge of people. I watched as you came out of the back room. I'm sure everybody saw Alice in Wonderland, correct? Do you remember the Cheshire Cat? That big smile that he had? Well, when you came out from your executive session, I noticed there was about 3 or 4 years had that big smile on your face. And I'm saying, what are we doing now? Personally, I don't know if the resumes had to be read. I think there was a decision prior to that meeting where people were talking about who's going to be who, the borough manager. That's my own personal feeling. And I consider myself a person who can judge people. I don't have to spend days with you. I can look at you and see how you've been. I've been watching a number of you for years. I have another question. Is Mr. Bates going to be retained to train Mr. Subi on the borough manager's job?
No.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that is I work and we had OTJT. It's called on-the-job training. And is everybody happy that he's well informed and he can handle this position? Or time will tell? Okay. I worked for a number of bosses when I worked when I was employed. And I look at some of the people here, and you remind me of some of the bosses that I had, based on your personalities or how you deal with. I had one particular boss, and him and I, of course, we didn't get along. Not because he wasn't my boss, because I knew more than him, and that's the problem. But I met with him one day, and I said, you know what? If you're lying and you know you're lying, that's one thing. But if you're lying and you think it's the truth, you're pathetic. Unfortunately, I look around and some of that fits some of your people out there. I'm not going to mention names, but that seems to be the problem. Last and not least, I wish everybody a happy and healthy New Year. I say prosperous, but you know what? Forget it. There's nothing more important than your health. Money's second. Well, it's first. They say it's second at whatever, but I can't figure out what's first. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a happy and prosperous New Year. And enjoy your coming season. Thank you.
Thank you. I now close the hearing of the public session. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes. First, we have the Borough Council regular meeting of November 16, 2015. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Questions or comments on these minutes?
I have a correction on page 12. On the last, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. On the last paragraph, there seems to be two sentences that are running together. It can be checked because it makes no sense. From what I remember what I said, it looks like two sentences are run together. For instance, it says here, they don't seem to know some of the things they shouldn't be doing according to take out the ordinance that's outdated. And that was two different sentences that I had said, so it makes no sense, that wordage, so that really should be checked for the proper wording.
Okay.
And there's a misspelling on several pages. The following page on 13, almost last paragraph, it says, I would say it says talking my estimate, it was taking my estimate, so that's spelled wrong. Page 14, another spelling. Third line in, it should be, coaches told me at the meeting, not polled me at the meeting.
So what page was that?
Page 14, third line in. The word polled should be told.
Okay.
And that's it.
Can we pass these with those corrections made?
If they're going to correct those lines, because like I said, it doesn't make any sense. They definitely ran two of my sentences together there.
All right. The first and second read of that?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Have a roll call, please.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Monaco.
Yes.
Mr. Barker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Kerner.
Abstain.
And Ms. Sherwood.
Yes. Motion carries 8-0. Next, may I have a motion?
7-1.
I wasn't here for that one, so I
7-1.
I thought you said the same.
Sorry.
I thought you said the same, which I didn't understand. Okay. 7-1. Yes. Motion passes. Next, Borough Council special meeting of November 23rd, 2015. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second that.
Okay, questions or comments on these minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Okay. So that would, it's Jeff Johnson. Abstaining. Motion passes 7-1 with one abstention, Jeff Johnson. Next, we have Borough Council special / budget meeting of November 30th, 2015. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments on these minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
We have a 7-1. Jeff abstaining. Motion passes. Next, we have Borough Council special meeting of December 1st, 2015. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Was that questions or comments on these minutes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain, Mrs. Chairman.
Motion passes 7-1 with one abstention, Jeff Johnson. Next, we have a Borough Council special meeting of September 8th, 2015. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments on this motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
I'm sorry. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cicero.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Abstain.
Ms. Chronicle.
Yes.
Mr. Parker.
Yes.
Mr. Sanford.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
No.
Mr. Kerner.
Yes.
And Ms. Sherlock.
Yes. Motion carries 6-2. One abstention, 1 no, 6 yeses. Next, we move on to the manager's report. Solicitor's report.
Thank you very much, President Sherlock. One is, I do want to say it's been a pleasure to serve with you and for you in council for these many years. But unfortunately, I come with a bearer of bad news, and that's in relation to item 8D, which is the passage of the budget. My recommendation is that council go ahead and tables that this evening. And the reason being is we filed a petition in the beginning of December 2nd, with the Bucks County Court of Common Pleas. And we've been following up to get something scheduled so we can increase beyond the mandated millage level. We are meeting with Judge Boylan of the Court of Common Pleas tomorrow morning, and hopefully she schedules a hearing to sign this. But I would not recommend that council goes ahead and approves the budget contingent on an action that a judge is yet to take.
Okay, great.
So
We'll just remove it.
Okay.
We'll just remove it? Okay. So, 8D has been removed. Do you have anything else for us this evening?
No.
I did ask a question about one of our lawsuits. We may be discussing that at a future meeting this year.
Yes.
No engineers report. Mayor's report.
Good evening. As I did last December, I'd like to, being this is the last regular council meeting for the year, I'd like to discuss 2015 rather than solely December. And don't worry, I won't be as long-winded as last year. Thank you. Much has been accomplished this past year as we continue to make improvements. It's no secret that Chief McClay and I share a well-rounded working relationship. I believe the partnership not only benefits the department, but the entire borough. I would like to also thank the council, the community, for the ongoing support of the Morrisville Police Department, the officers, and Chief McClay. The department is ending this year being roughly $147,000 in the black. I don't ever remember this happening in the past. And it wasn't due to a lack of wasteful spending, it was due to finding grants and planning, and the department has not gone without by any means, even though we ended in the black. Recently, we received the COPS grant of $125,000, and tonight council will be voting on a motion to hire a full-time police officer because of the grant. Council has been supportive and it doesn't go unnoticed. I also appreciate that the council does seem to recognize and follow the chain of command regarding the department. Proper protocol is maintained by contacting the mayor rather than running to the police department or the chief, and that's appreciated. This year, 3 new vehicles were purchased and 1 used vehicle, which helps make a difference in the efficiency of the department. The vehicles are equipped uniformly with new rifles, fire extinguishers, crime scene processing equipment, various safety equipment. In addition, the officers are patrolling. They have first aid kits and they contain the Narcan along with AEDs. And the officers have access to the new lockout kits that can help our residents. The Morrisville Police Department has decreased crime in the borough by 35%, and this is 2 consecutive years of double-digit decreases. It's a nice statistic that we can use to measure, even though obviously there's many factors that help contribute to this. Moving on, this past year, it's been my privilege to provide and host some events in the borough, such as Frozen Themes photo shoot, a tour of Borough Hall, the police department, the Bird Town contest, the Labor Day picnic, the 2015 Santa Claus, and with the help of really dedicated individuals, we're planning events for next year. Council has been working to improve the downtown, and I hope to see this continue. Looks like some new businesses will probably be moving in, and I'd like to encourage everyone to use them, along with the existing businesses, to ensure that they continue to make Morrisville their home. When I first brought to the council the subject of the blighted pool, I did so with a heavy heart, knowing that it wasn't continuing and it needed to be dealt with, and that, like so many people, that, you know, my family had grown up using it at times, and it's tough to say goodbye to something like that, but if anyone has passed by the park, it looks so much better. The property's reclaimed right now. It looks so much better. I actually hear about it from people that they're thrilled to see the difference, and I would encourage the council to continue making improvements to Williamson Park, and of course to work with the EAC to do it environmentally friendly when possible. This past year I have worked with council, the administration, the school district, the EAC, Historic Morrisville Society, our legislators, on things that needed to be done to help transform the blighted MRI property into usable parkland, and I would like to see that work continue, and excited to see it continue. So I hope council keeps pushing forward in 2016 with that. And lastly, with that, on behalf of my family and myself, I would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the police chief's report.
Good evening, council.
Good evening, Chief.
Again, thank you, Mayor, for all the nice things you had to say about our department. Just about our training that we have coming up, our annual MPO training will be coming up. We'll be going out to Haverford College in a couple of weeks. We will be going to Atlantic City for a street survival class, and I'll be sending guys to the Abington Police Department for investigation classes. Remember last month I talked about the bike training. Mike Deaney finished the bike training in 2 weeks in Philadelphia. We deployed the bike tonight up at the shopping center, worked overtime for Christmas beat, and within 20 minutes he locked up 3 people with drugs. It just shows you just another tool in the box. I will be giving that bike back to Lower Makefield and purchasing their own bike very soon. Back down in Philadelphia, we got a very good price off the Bus and Bike, and I expect to have that ready to go for springtime. And in closing, thank you, Nancy, Jeffrey, for all your support over the last year. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll have one more report, and then we'll be going into exec session personnel matter. Our last report will be student council and the supplement.
I just had 3 quick notes of congratulations to different students in the Morrisville School District. First, starting out with our girls basketball team. We're doing really well this season, and senior Denise Sacco was Fox 29's Athlete of the Week. You can find it, I believe, on YouTube. She's very active in the school, was crowned homecoming queen, and is a very important part of the student community at Morrisville. Second of all, congratulations to 6 students in, well, the whole FBLA team. 6 of these students are going to the States in hospitality management, accounting, cybersecurity, and public speaking. All 6 of them worked really hard, and their efforts have really paid off. And lastly, our winter concert went really well. Both the choir and the bands have performed, and we're wishing good luck to the jazz band, who is beginning to start competitions.